Denise Athos, Northern California, Novato. She calls me, sends me an email down. She was at our event here 3 weeks ago. This is our overflow event. We sold out of the event 3 weeks ago, so we had put this on as an overflow. And Denise told me, she's sitting here, she's been in the program about 3 years. She got fired up again and said, okay, Brian kept pounding on Popeyes, I'll do one. She went down to a baker, bought $30 worth of goods, and did one Popeye by one of her A-plus clients who owns a business. Talked to him, have a chat, walked away. Next day, now she said I hadn't done a Popeye in about a year. Next day, she gets a call from the business owner. It was great to see you. Hey, thanks, these are great pastries. Where'd you get them? So you want to know the name of the bakery. So, by the way, I had a lady in here this morning who was talking about, she's one of my better clients, and she was talking about that she's thinking about buying a home. This is what he said, would it be okay if I had her call you? But do people say stuff like that? I don't want to impose on you. She gets a referral, okay? This just happened like last week. The lady had already found a house for $1.1 million, okay? They put the offer on the house, got it accepted. She listed her house for $700,000 the same day, and Denise double-ended it. 1 week, all of that came together, one Popeye. Now, here's what's wild about human nature. It'll take her a while to go do another one. Is that true? That's why we have a coaching department. Because we have to remind people, remember what did that for you, okay? But Popeyes. Now, we've had great experience. I'll take a look at this. This is called a Popeye bag. And what a lot of people are doing is they'll do Popeyes of their database, and they have a bag in the back of their car all the time. So they're ready at any time to do Popeyes. Now, people ask me all the time, how did you do your Popeyes? What days of the week works best and whatever else? I'm going to tell you the little secret behind the scenes. I never, ever had an organized day to go do Popeyes. That's a fact. Here's what I did. I fit them in. Just like if you were looking at a vase with rocks and sand and pebbles, you could fit in water around them. Does that make sense? There's little gaps. Listen closely. Especially for the folks who've been here a number of times. I fit in Popeyes all the time. I tried to do them every day. That was my mindset. But I fit them in. Rarely. Now, some people are very organized and whatnot. I'm going to do my 11 Popeyes today. That's fabulous. I fit them in. I fit them in the day. I'd be out in some place, and I'd sold somebody a house. I'd have my list of A clients with me, and I'd give them a buzz. Hey, I'm going to be, and I'd just drop by and bring them an item of value. We have a guy, now people have all kinds of stories with the Popeyes. They've done all kinds of things. For example, they've produced like a referral directory of businesses and plumbers and painters and attorneys and CPAs, and they've dropped by one of those. People have done things like this. Here's, they do a Popeye, and it goes like this. Zoom out a little bit. Just pop by to say hello. Okay, is that good? And you leave it on the doorstep, you know, if they're not there. We've had all kinds of funny stories with this. First guy I ever taught this, first group I ever taught this to was right before the holidays. And I get this phone call one time. And he goes, Buffini, you need to tell people about the liability of these bloody Popeyes and how dangerous they are. And so I hear the word liability, so I get my attention. So I call up, and I'm like, hey, what's going on here? And he goes, well, you know, I all fired up after your seminar. And I went out and did these Popeyes, whatever you call them. And, you know, I did it the week of the holidays. And I was going around, I visited a guy, and I bring a little item of value, and he give me a little drink. He said, I got to the 6th house. I had to spend the afternoon on the guy's couch. I was knockered. So what has happened is people have developed now what we call a Popeye companion, or a designated driver. Not for the booze, but for this. What we found is that when people are doing the Popeyes, if somebody's in the car with you, if you have an assistant or someone, or even a teenage kid that can drive, have them in the car, drive up to the driveway, have the car run, and you pop out, hey, Marilyn, how are you doing? Great to see you. And here's what it does. Listen, it gives us both an excuse to keep the visit short. Does that make sense? Because she's looking for an excuse, too. And so it makes it fun. Hey, great to see you. Hey, brought this little something for you. Boom, on our way. And we've had some great stories with this. We had this one guy, Don Cole, the Equity Group in Portland. And Don is a guy that he's massive peaks and valleys. He gets real hot and gets real cold. And so I'm talking to Don one time. I said, man, what's going on here? Anytime you get in front of people, Don, they just love you. Your clients love you. Why is it you don't want to go out and see them? They just love you. And, and this would go on. And so when he got to a real valley in his business, that's what we call in the coaching department a teachable moment, I'm having this chat with him. I went, Don, what's going on? He goes, He said, look, when I go out and see these people, they just love talking to me. They just love talking to me. I'm like, yeah, what's the problem? He goes, I just don't like talking to them. You picked a hell of a career here, pal. Okay. So I said, look, Don, just go and do as many of these as you can. And he was the first guy to do these popcorn pieces. His assistant went out and bought a big sack of these at Costco, put the little label on the microwave popcorn, okay? And he did, to the first of my knowledge, the first ever drive-by Popeyes, okay? And he'd come by, and he'd see that he'd ring the doorbell, put the get in the car. Okay, what is this? This a Popeye item? Okay. Oh, this is the gal. Okay, so you got a little coupon, little candies. Okay. Very cool. Okay. No-brainer, little item of value. Very cool. Very cool. People are having a lot of fun with this. Okay. They do all kinds of stuff. They'll bring candies. They'll bring popcorns. A lot of them will do stuff like this, where they'll bring by. They have a book, and these are the items of value we produce for our clients, and they'll have a stack of these in their binder. Okay? And they'll just bring them with them. So they have stacks of them, and they go see somebody, they fold it up, and just give them one. Does that make sense? Okay, so just to have it. And you're ready to do a pop-by at any hour of the day. Any hour of the day. One other tip, this is kind of strange. The other thing you need to have ready for any hour of the day, in the back of your car, every person in this room needs to have a box of files with contracts. Because any hour of the day, you need to be ready to go do business. People used to, I know I need to go home and get changed, put my face on, da-da-da. No, when you leave home, be ready to do business. And have it with you at all times. Have all the forms, have all the contracts, have everything in the trunk of your car ready to go at any second. Does that make sense, yes or no? Yes. Be ready to go at any given time at any hour of the day. Great stuff. Now, on the top of that page, I want you to write in a little term. On the top of that page, I want you to write in the term called critical mass. Critical mass. Critical mass. Does anybody know what critical mass is? Is it a priest with a bad attitude? Well, in physics, it's that point at which something's ready to explode. In sales and marketing, it's when you come to associate a certain product or service with a very particular company or person. For example, if I hold up a box of tissues, what company comes to mind? I go over to use the copy machine. What am I using? Boom, it comes to mind. Now, here's what I want to share with you. Here's why, right now, the vast majority of you in here today are sitting on an untapped gold mine. Right now, and I've seen this thousands of times, the vast majority of you in here today have an untapped gold mine. You have a tremendous amount of future wealth that is sitting there untapped. And it's tapped inside the relationships with people you have. I want to show you how powerful this is. I had 300 people consistently in my database, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. The Gallup organization did a survey a few years ago, and here's what they found, that the average single individual in America knows approximately 285 people. Everyone you're connected to knows this many more. Now, let's say my people are below average. Let's be far more conservative than this. Let's say my 300 folks only know 100 people each. How many is this altogether? How's the Denver math system doing? Huh? 3 different answers and a couple of lenders chiming in. Okay. 30,000. Take these two right here and just... Is this a lot of people, yes or no? Watch how it works. Christina, right here, is one of my 300. My goal is to make Christina feel like a first-class passenger on my airline. Every month, I'm going to exceed her expectations. Every month, I'm going to send her something cool in the mail or visit her with a Popeye and a little gift. And every month, before I leave, I'll say, oh, by the way. And what happens is I am one conversation away from Christina to Judy. Just one. In fact, I'm only one conversation away from Christina and anybody inside her database. So here's what happened. I focused all my attention and all my effort on the Christinas inside my database. That's what I did. I spent my time here. And I absolutely tapped into all these people's databases. That's what happened. And I had a huge volume of referrals, but I had something better than just volume. I had great quality control. You see, everyone who comes out of this great number of people has to come to me through the filter of someone who knows me well. Christina would never intentionally refer me to a jackass. Does that make sense? Yes. And Christina will send me referrals like this. Brian, I was talking to Billy at work. Now listen, Billy's got some rough edges to him. But I think if you work with him like this, and like this, and like this, you guys could get along. She would tell me how to get along with that person because she doesn't want me to have a bad experience with her referral. Does this make sense? Yes or no? Yes. Very powerful. And here's how I did it. Every month I send an item of value, and every month a little, oh, by the way. Every month an item of value, every month, oh, by the way. This comes out of the abundance mentality. When you give to a giver, what does a giver do? They give back. You give more to the givers, what do? Give more. Give to a taker, what do? They suck. That's what they do. So what I did was I gave to the givers, and the takers, what did I say? Bye-bye now. And every month, Christina gets this neat item of value, and every month a little, oh, by the way. Item of value, oh, by the way. Item of value, oh, by the way. And eventually, this oh, by the way dialogue becomes imprinted on her brain. Now, I'm not the first guy to think of this either. Companies have been marketing to us like this for years. How many of you in here think you could sing the Oscar Mayer Wiener jingle? Come on, let's see what you're made of, okay? I'm here to Denver's the great sports town. Let's see what you're made of. Here we go. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I wish I were. Come on now. That is what. E. And if. Come on now, big finish. Beautiful. How many times have you heard that jingle? You've heard it over and over and over again that you can sing it in a ballroom full of people you don't even know. Isn't that right? Every month she gets the item of value, and every month the oh, by the way. I can't tell you the number of times during my career this happened. I'd be on the phone talking to a client, and before I could get to it, they'd be like, oh, and Brian, oh, by the way. They knew it was coming. People make the mistake here. They often confuse activity with productivity. They often think this, well, my day's busy. If I write out a personal note, it's as good as if I called somebody. If I send out an item of value on the written communication side, I send something out, it's as good as if I went to see somebody in person. Now, by the way, if you're very busy in a day, incredibly busy with important stuff, and you're really strapped for time, if you just get some of these written communication things done, that's fine. However, you need to be careful, because you can do that stuff that's fine for a couple of days, and the next thing you know, you're doing it all the time. And you now, all of a sudden, you've slipped into this mode, you're confusing something. You're confusing activity with productivity. Does that make sense? Where's the productive stuff? It's over here in personal contact. So what I've developed is a weighted activity list to show you where to spend your time. Okay? Personal notes. On a scale of 1 to 100, that's a 20. When followed by a call, it'll be a 60. Rewarding a referral, that's a 50. Followed by a call is an 80. That much more powerful. Sending an item of value, a 15. Followed by a call, a 70. Followed by a Popeye, 85. What does that tell you? That a Popeye is more valuable than even a call. Does that make sense? Business-to-business luncheon. Taking businesses to lunch. It's a significant part of the Referrals by Design system. Setting appointments, talking to businesses about how to do business by referral. How many of you think the systems I'm teaching would be applicable to many, many businesses? Let me see your hands. Absolutely. Referrals are universal. Universal. The largest referral business in the world was Christianity. Nothing to do with real estate. Did Christianity make it to Northern California? Just think of how it worked. You had one guy. He had a database of 12 people. Right? 11 A's, 1 D, right? Okay. Big business. Business-to-business luncheons, very powerful. Now, you're able to take a business owner to lunch when you run your business like a what? Business. Sending that business a referral. Put a star next to that. If you want to receive referrals, what's the first principle you got to give? Or listen, attempt to give. If you're new to the area, new in the business, attempt. I'm going to try to give you referrals, Stephen. That is good people to know that. You're my CPA. I'm going to try to send you referrals. Well, that's a great thing. And then don't just give it lip service. So become a referral giver. Following that referral with a phone call. Hey, Stephen, I referred you to Leslie. How did that work out? Were you able to hook up? Was she a good client? Was she the kind of client you wanted to work with? Following that phone call. Taking an A+ to lunch is a 75. Following up with an item that relates to their wants and needs, 100. Now just stop here for a second. When I write down 100, I'm standing in front of you today and I'm telling you that you're 100% guaranteed. If you take an A+ to lunch and then follow up with them after spending your time with them and listening for what? Wants and needs. that if you do that, you are 100% guaranteed of getting a referral. 100% guaranteed. There are very few things in life that are guaranteed. I will guarantee you that. Take an A+ to lunch. Listen to them. Follow up with something pertaining to wants and needs. Givers give. Hosting a party for your A clients. Guaranteed a referral. Hosting a housewarming party. Followed by calling the attendees. That's an 80. Change of address cards. Followed by calling the database. Adding new names to your database. That'll be a 20. Sorting and qualifying with the mayor campaign. That'll be a 60.